So this lecture was sent to you in advance on our group chat. So I was expecting, or I am expecting, that you have read this thoroughly. And then if you have questions, you can ask it. So drawing is the art or technique of producing images on a surface, usually by means of pencil, an ink, a graphite, charcoal, or crayon. Drawing is also a formal artistic creation, be defined as primary linear rendition of objects in the visible world. So, yeah, it's a two-dimensional kind of artwork. Drawings fundamentally were used by artists as a fundamental skill for doing other artworks. Drawing is a study which makes is made for the sake of learning on how to execute some forms. So yun ang purpose ng drawing. Para siyang blueprint, para siyang plano before you do another artwork. So for example, if you're a painter, if you are a sculptor, you draw it first, parang draft or sketch, and then later ita-transform mo na siya sa isang final artwork. So yun, napakahalaga ng drawing kasi yung planning method dito nangyayari. So for example, your artwork is about naturalism. So ang advocacy mo is about nature. So you study plants, you study mountains, and then different sceneries, landscapes, ganyan. So napaka-importante nung drawing to minimize errors. So what artists usually do is they do a study. So yung study na term na ginagamit sa art is you study an object, a form. So for example, sa mukha ng tao, you study the nose, you study eyes. So you just do sections of it. Okay? If you want, you can do a drawing of it na wala pang kulay, ganyan. And then later on, as you paint, doon nag-improve yung color. So yun yung purpose ng drawing. We have different kinds of medium or media in drawing. So yung term naman na medium is the material that you use to produce art. Sa drawing, we have several kinds of media or medium. First one, the most common is pencil. Yan. Since preschool tayo, since we were learning just to create shapes and letters, pencil na yung gamit natin. Pinaka-common, which is the Mongol pencil. Mapansin nyo, sa Mongol pencil, it has the black part sa tip. So, ang tawag doon, graphite. Usually, dun sa mga medyo may misconception sa pencil, ang tawag nila is lead. Ang lead is a poisonous substance. It's toxic. It cannot come in contact with your skin or your bloodstream kasi mapopoison ka. Lalason ka. Technically, it's not lead, it's graphite. Yun yung tinatasahan natin pag napuputol. Okay? Tapos, it's covered in wood. So, yun yung usual na itsura ng pencil. Tapos, may mga number siya. Ay, Mongol, 1, 2, 3. So, yung number signifies the shade of it. So, hindi lang inilagay doon. Actually, para sa grade. Like, for example, grade 1 ka, ito gagamitin mo. Hindi. Yung pinaka-soft or yung pinaka-light, yung shade is the 1. 2 is the middle. Tapos 3 is the darkest. Sa mga technical na gumagawa ng drawings, may iba't ibang kinds of pencil. Depende sa kung anong gusto mong ma-achieve na texture or shade or color. Diyan sa mga nasa illustration natin, yan, mapansin niyo. So we have the HB and then B. So ito yung usual na Mongol pencil, the B part. Yung sa kabila, yung F, yung medyo fine na kahit talaga diinan mo yung sulat, kahit matalas siya, kahit bagong tasa, kahit gaano mo siya idiin, hindi siya talaga magiging kasing dark nung nasa B. So those are pencil. So yun. Graphite pencil are capable of producing different kinds of lines and different tones depending on the sharpness of the pencil point. So now we know what a pencil is. So, bibigay ko naman yung different techniques you can use in creating an artwork using pencil. Okay, so first is the hatching. So, hatching is a drawing. It's a series of parallel lines on just one direction. Mapapansin nyo dito sa illustration natin, walang sumasaliwa na direction dun sa guhit. Nagawa siya ng image using just one direction. Hindi siya nag-violate dun sa pinaka-grain or dun sa linya na ginawa niya. Okay? Usually ginagamit to pag medyo fine or medyo mas light, yung gusto mo ma-achieve na effect. Okay? Kung gusto mo medyo mas dark, so you can use this specific technique, the second technique, which is cross-hatching. So it's a drawing series of 10 parallel lines across each other. It creates a darker tone than hatching. Kasi dalawang direction na. And perfect for yan, mga shadowing techniques. And then, yung ano naman, yung stippling is used for a more grainy effect. Parang ano siya, medyo rough, coarse, yung texture. So, yun. It's using the sharp part or point of the pencil to make dots to create a depth on parts of the drawing. So, yan, it creates this beautiful effect. And then you can also use blending. Blending is at times accompanied by using the fingers or a paper stamp to gradually decrease or lighten the tone of the pencil. Sa mga mahilig mag-makeup dito, familiar na kayo dyan, di ba? Yan, sa ilong, gagawa kayo ng nose line, gagawa kayo ng contour. Yan ang technique na blending. Second medium natin is an ink. So the ink is the oldest material used in drawing. Not just drawing, so of course, writing na rin. Before, ginagamit siya on Eastern Asian civilizations, mga early civilizations such as the Chinese and the Japanese civilization. Ink is used in making beautiful handwritings produced in calligraphy. Sa time natin ngayon, may mga gumagawa na rin talaga ng artworks na ang gamit is ball pen. Third is pastel, one of the most common, most colorful kind of medium in drawing. So it's composed of dried pigments held together by a gum binder or oil. And then it's compressed together into a stick. So there are three kinds of pastel. So we have the soft pastel, we have the hard pastel, and we have the oil pastel. So it depends on the binder that you will use. So the difference between soft and hard pastel is the amount of binder applied to it. Soft pastel, konti lang yung binder, and then for hard pastel, mas madaming binder para mag-stick talaga siya together. So contrary to popular belief or parang misconception again na ang pastel is somewhat parang crayon. So ang crayon kasi is wax. So melted yon and then bubuuin mo. Ang pastel naman is powdered pigments. Kasi i-compress mo. Para mas malapit siya sa chalk. So we also have different techniques just like a pencil. So may mga iba't ibang techniques din ang paggawa ng artworks using pastel. So first we have the stippling. So kagaya lang siya ng stippling kanina drawing. So stippling using pastel has a different effect kasi may kulay siya. At saka mas thick yung nagagawa mong images. Next technique for pastel is feathering. Okay, so it's using the point of the pastel to make parallel strokes, creating a feather-like effect. So yun yung ina-achieve mo na texture. So feather-like sa feathering. Next naman is scumbling. So yan. So it's layering. So it is possible to put one color on top of the other sa pastel without really mixing it together. Okay, so pag nag-drawing ka ng blue at saka yellow, sure ka na hindi siya maghalo at magiging green yung kalalabasan. Tapos at the same time, you will see that from the center of the illustration, and medyo mas light, yellow, and then as it goes to the corner, the edges, it darkens out. So pwede mong gawin yan. May mga fading effect. Next is impasto. It's the technique of thickly applying pastel by pressing hard on the paper, creating an opaque effect. So yung opaque effect, you are sure that no light will pass through. So na-maximize mo ngayon yung space ng iyong artwork. So sure ka na walang light na tatagos. Even sa likod, even sa harap. Minsan kasi pag natapaan yung artwork ng ilaw, may mga glare effect na nangyayari. So hindi na-highlight yung ibang parts ng artwork. So to eliminate that, i-ano mo talaga, kakapalan mo. Next is graffito. So ito yung last technique for pastel. So yung process niya is applying a thick deposit of pastel on the support using a blunt pen. It scrapes off the underlying colors to create a design. First step ng graffito is the colors, the colored part. So wala pa siyang design, basta magkulay ka lang ng gusto mong kulay. Okay? And then after that, pag na-cover mo na lahat ng paper or lahat ng area na gusto mong ma-cover, ilalagyan mo siya ngayon ng black. So you would cover all it up in thick black. Mawawala ngayon yung kulay mo, di ba? Kasi black na lang yung makikita. And then, i-scrape mo ngayon siya para magkaroon siya ng design. So yun ang graffito. Lastly, so last, last material or last medium for drawing, it is charcoal. So one of the most siguro popular, usually ginagamit siya ng mga nagpo-portrait. So may mga tinatawag tayong commission works. So yung commission works is when you hire someone, an artist, to create an image na gusto mo. Usually yung ginagamit is image ng tao. Like for example, picture, gagawin siyang drawing, ganun. Tapos mukha mo. So usually ng mga nagko-commission, the most common uses charcoal for portrait purposes. Sa apat na yun na nabanggit na medium ng drawing, ito ang pinaka-expensive. Okay, so it's an organic medium that comes from burnt wood. Meron din siyang iba't ibang types depending sa kung anong gusto mong ma-achieve na shade. So we have the fine, we have the soft, and we have the hard. Lastly, so parang it goes hand in hand, paper at saka pencil or a drawing, kasi usually ang canvas talaga ng drawing is paper. So we have three kinds. So we have the hot press, the cold press, and the rough. Okay, so yung hot press, it's the smoothest of them all. Yung cold press, yun siguro yung yung mga usual na natin, bond paper. Yun yung mga ginagamit natin, cold press. And then yung rough or toothed or ones with tooth na na paper, sobrang rough niya and then makapal, and it's intended for graphite, for pastel, charcoal drawings, and siguro mga watercolor drawings. So yan, may specialty paper talaga for producing these kinds of artworks kasi mas kumakapit yung material natin sa surface na rough, mas naiiwan siya. Okay, so yan. But you can use any kind of paper that you want if you want to produce an artwork. But yun nga lang, highly recommended kung gagamit ka talaga is the rough one. Okay? So yan. Seldom gumagamit ng hot press kasi smooth nga siya. Hindi kumakapit yung mga materials. So for other topics such as yan, early history, so I will not go onto the details of this. You can just browse this on the lecture that I have given you. Okay? Then types, ko na rin lang yan sa inyo para basahin. And then importance of drawing, of course, you have to know why drawing is really important. So yan. Okay, so that's it for our first topic. Do you have any questions?